Okay, I am doing my quote and my blog for 4 4 2022. Notice all the twos and the fours. It's like there's a whole bunch of things going on there. So, anyway, my quote for today: Where do the clouds go after they drop all their rain? Do they disappear and evaporate over the dry plain? I appreciate that I am on the wet side of the hill. I love to watch the storms and the budding daffodil. Within the cosmos, we exist in a beautiful place, one that is alive with a loving embrace. While tomorrow we may not be here, perhaps something will remain. Perhaps we will learn to work with nature so that we can retain those small and special things that are vulnerable to loss. Losing some things seems to be too terrible of a cost. There are those that will try to light the way. There are those that will refuse to sway. But when enough will turn towards what is good, that is when we all become a Robin Hood. When we resist evil and feed the poor, we learn that creation is a type of amour. We hold the secrets to the creation of powerful things. We just need to learn to let go of the strings. And my blog for today is a free flow blog because I am heading off to Spokane to help my mom, who is 86 years old. And we're finally at that point where I probably am just going to take the bills away from her, and I already have control over the bank account and the different things so that I can handle certain things from a distance. But she's just starting to get confused. And at 86, she's done really, really well, and things are just starting to overwhelm her, and she's not handling certain things well. So I'm going to go over there and I'm going to try and fix a few things, like her stove or oven is not working, and check that out to make sure it is or isn't working, and try and figure out the different problems that she's having to see whether they're actual problems or if they're because she's actually losing her ability to navigate certain things. I wish that the computer companies would recognize the challenges that the elderly people have with technology and the changes that are happening so rapidly in technology. I wish that there was a way that they could create stuff for seniors so that their computer stays exactly the same and everything looks exactly the same, and how they navigate it is exactly the same, because all the slight subtle changes for the elderly is really, really difficult. And the technology things, just having a sound bar threw her off the edge because suddenly she had another piece of equipment. Even though it was attached to the universal remote, it still, if she wasn't in the right position, it didn't sometimes turn it on. And I also just wish that in our world of technology, I've been amazed at how often she buys a brand new appliance, and that appliance breaks or is not working properly or doesn't heat properly or isn't the right temperature when you put a little thermometer in the oven. And I wish again for the great American technology that we used to have, where you could have refrigerators for 30 years and they wouldn't break. I mean, she's had 3 refrigerators in 5 years because they keep breaking, and it's a waste of money. And I wish that the technology companies would understand that and go back to American made, and the impeccability that American technology had for so long, and kind of stop sending things off to foreign countries. I honestly would rather pay more for a new refrigerator, freezer, stove, oven if I knew that it just wouldn't break. And even with these extended warranties that people have for these things, they still break. And then you still have the hassle of having somebody come in and replace the whole thing. And it's just it seems like an exercise in futility. So I'm putting this blog out there on the very remote chance that somebody in the technology world will hear that and go, yeah, we probably should do like senior software that is an update, and so they're safe from scammers and hackers and things like that, but that it doesn't change anything on their screen whatsoever. And maybe make things back in America again. I think we're probably going to go that way with all the craziness happening in the world, and with all the problems with the Suez Canal and now the Panama Canal. And I think we're going to start moving things back to America, which would be awesome. Recently on television, I was watching one of those shows, how something's made, and it was a rope factory that was back east, I think in Vermont or New Hampshire. And this building had been there for over 200 years, and it's still making rope. And it takes flax and twists it and makes these big, thick ropes. And it was amazing, the technology. The building is like 1,000 feet long. And so as a result, they have like a system, the pulleys, that pulls the rope and twists the rope at the same time. And it goes from one end of the building all the way to the other end of the building. And at the other end of the building, they suddenly have 100-foot rope. I think it was 1,000-foot rope, 1,000-foot rope. I just think, wow, how great. Like, this thing is still running and it's still in operation. And I applaud those people who have kept with the traditions and passed them down in the family line and kept some of our American beautiful things. Thanks, everyone.